Hey everybody, One of Weezem here. It is Monday, December 6th, 7th? 7th. It's Pearl Harbor Day, of course, so we should know that. My voice is still kind of bad, so my apologies there, but I think it's getting better, so that's a good thing. That said, we've unboxed some of Wave 3 last night. We left off. We did Lava Lanceruptor, who is fantastically amazing. Fully endorse him 100%. Nightfall, and then Big Bubble Pop Fizz, so we got Dark and Magic. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to go in and we're going to get the other Magic Element SuperCharger, and that would of course be Splat. Now, Splat, I'm not really a fan of that artwork, yet it's a weird deal because the figure looks amazing. I think it has to do with the color scheme, in all honesty. Her facial features here are kind of like a, I don't know, like a berry purple, and then here it's more of a pink, and it's a way lighter color. You can kind of see the contrast there. And went off on her a little bit. I was pretty grumpy in my update. I think the first night I started to get sick. But the truth is, actually looking at her, she does look pretty dadgum good. So she is a Magic Element SuperCharger Splat is her name. The Art of War is her game. So we're going to go ahead and spin her around to the backside. This is her inset box art. I don't know. We'll have to see what she looks like in game. I can say the paintbrush / staff thing kind of looks pretty cool. So new powers and weapons. You got the ability to supercharge your vehicle on the fly. There she is with, we'll just go ahead and showcase it too. It is the Splatter Splasher. This is her signature vehicle. So very cool. We'll get that thing out and kind of get a better feel for it. I feel like a lot of the details are kind of masked by the packaging. So other featured characters, Lava Lanceruptor, can't rave about that guy enough. Deep Dive Gilgrunt Splat, and of course my highly anticipated Bone Bash Roller Brawl. So what we will do, we'll go ahead and open her up. Still don't know where my little knife is, so we'll try not to saw everything. Getting a little bit of a late start here tonight. The Cowboys and Redskins game was a field goal festival, and then down into the wire. Got pretty interesting there at the end. So we had that go down. I had my first round of computer parts coming today. Probably like 60 pounds worth, so pretty good stuff there. Love the fact that it is not taped. That's what we saw with Lava Lanceruptor, so we're going to set that down. And now we will go ahead. Here's the sticker sheet / stat card, but what we want to do, we'll go ahead and free her. This 45 degree here, we want to grab the Rift Engine carefully. Pull this down. She might be a tough one. Oh my. Alright, so I got that done. She was molded in there very well. That makes me think she's going to be quite flexible once we free her. So we will put this back into place over here. And yes, it's very loose, very flexible. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the hybrid, the stat card / sticker sheet. That is oh so disappointing to people that have played the game, the previous 4 anyway. So, they're cool, but it's like, if I had to pick one to give up, I would have kept the card and given up the sticker, but I don't know, I guess they've done their market analysis on the children that they test or something. So, the artwork here actually looks pretty cool. But again, the purple color, I don't know, for whatever reason, her figure looks more of a pink to me, and for some reason that looks better than the purple. I don't know why, I guess to me personally, that just kind of floats the boat a little bit better. So, nonetheless, power 120, armor 120, agility 260, let's see if that translates over to in-game, and luck 200, there's her name tag. That's about all they wrote there. Let's see here. According to the strategy guide, which I always verify in my introductions, her max health is 240. Let's get that back into focus for you. Speed 43, armor 6, critical hit 4, and elemental power 25. So generally when those numbers are that low, the upgrades tend to be just, it's not guaranteed, but that's a pattern I've noticed. So I'm thinking she should be one of the fast 43s. You know, you sometimes have characters with the same speed rating and you're like, how is that possible? This one is slow and this one's really fast. I personally kind of view her as someone that should be a bit quicker, so we'll see how that pans out. That said, let's bring her up here. Something that I love that is not near as exciting as the figure itself, which is why we start there. It's this Magic Element base, man. They did a fantastic job of that thing. Like I've mentioned, you know, leaf, not leaf, but with life elements you get leaves, fire you get fire, air you get clouds, etc. Magic, it's always had this kind of interesting base structure, but what they did here, they made it really pop, kind of made it three-dimensional. And for whatever reason, that just is really appealing to me. So I don't know if anyone else feels the same way. But personally, I think it looks fantastic. It's not necessarily the most complimentary for Splat, per se. But I absolutely think it does a fantastic job representing the Magic Element. And it ties in nicely with the Rift Engine. So there's the Magic Element logo on the Rift Engine here on the bottom. Totally black base on these Magic Element ones. That's pretty interesting. And you've got the Magic Element logo. So gotta say, her figure truly does look amazing. It's one of those things. The artwork, again, I don't know if it's just me. Even the sticker sheet, the box art's a little bigger, so that's what we'll use. Side by side, if I have to pick A or B on which one is more attractive, it's B, and it's not close. Some of you might hate kind of like the pale pink and be like, oh, purple's where it's at. But for whatever reason, I just think the lighter skin tone, if you will, or pink versus the purple, it makes the rest of her kind of stand out that much more. This just kind of blends in. It all looks kind of, you know, what's the word? Too similar to be different? I don't know. I have some fancy word in mind, but it kind of, I'm not sure if it ties in or not. So needless to say, I am actually pretty impressed by this. So coming in, first thing we're going to address, this is like half staff, half paintbrush, or at least that's the way I'm perceiving it. Have not introduced her, have not played her, so I don't know for sure. But you can kind of see it's got sort of like an orb type of a thing here. She's treating it sort of like a bow or a Joe staff, and then coming around you've sort of got the other spherical end, and then this one it kind of trails. And what I like best about this, it's almost like an amber red. There's probably like some fruit juice that would be that exact color. I don't know, pomegranate. We'll just throw that out there, because how many of you can verify that that is in fact similar or dissimilar to pomegranate? And it sounds fancy and believable. So the pomegranate fades into like a strawberry kiwi type thing, and then we move on down. We get into like grape, weekend grape, Gatorade, and then we sort of like wind up in like the blue color schemes. And for whatever reason, that just actually looks very cool. It's something definitely unique. On top of that, she's got a pretty... She's cute, so it's not really super aggressive per se, but it's almost like a playfully aggressive stance, I would probably best label it. So she's got kind of hoofs on. They are purple. That actually matches the pink very well, in my opinion. Looks like she's got purple pants, kind of... Is that a belt she's wearing? Yes. That would be like a red belt there. It matches the gloves, of course. Kind of red trim on the cloak or the tunic. And then right there, nice facial features, very prominent nose, facial structure, folded ears, if you will. Up top, just like Big Bubble Pop Fizz, this was a detail I did like on him. And I mentioned him out to. He kind of has like those prospector, alchemist, scientist, mad scientist glasses up top, if you can sort of see those in there. And she's kind of got the same thing. I don't know if they're like goggles for speed racing, or if she's into magic as well or something that would require goggles of that nature. Eye color, can we get it to focus? Yes, there we go. Now let's just bring it closer. Okay, 1 second. Okay, her eyes are kind of like a dark purple. We'll call it deep purple to score points with fans of classic rock, of course. So I couldn't tell if they were blue or purple. They're, in my opinion, again, a deep purple, which in my opinion, deep purple has a bit of blue in it. So we'll roll with that overly descriptive color scheme there. And her hair, it's kind of like a cotton candy taffy is how I would describe it. It's very sort of glossy. No metallic or anything, and it just kind of a lot of glossy sheen to it. Again, it almost literally looks like Laffy Taffy type of stuff. So very cool, and it complements the purple and the pale pink of her facial features quite well. And then she sort of got the horns or the antlers here. They are translucent. They kind of tie in with, you know, the ends of the paintbrush slash staff, and they do a nice job of just making a very aesthetically pleasing figure, in my opinion. So What we need to do now is take a look at her background story and see if it explains any of this to us. Splat grew up in a typically fawn village, which was perfectly manicured and orderly. Does she not look like something that would be in Animal Crossing? You know, now that they say that. Take the paint staff away and everything, but, you know, just picture the character like in Gracie Grace or something. It looks like a character from Animal Crossing to me. So Splat is endearing as we progress. Every day in school, she and her classmates would recite the same poems, play the same music, and paint the same picture, which was always a portrait of their great ancestor, Floody Hoof Dancer. But this didn't suit Splat. I don't blame her. That makes me like her more, because I would go crazy in that scenario. The only art she wanted to learn was the art of war. Yes, winning. After school, she would sneak off to the river and practice her own free-form fighting techniques against chompies and other creatures that were causing trouble. When the elder fawns learned of this, they were outraged, but soon thereafter, a band of drow attacked the village to steal their valuable art. Seems like the trolls would be the ones stealing the art again, but nonetheless, soon thereafter the drow attacked, steal the art, blah blah blah, and while the other fawns cowered in fear, Splat stood her ground. Unleashing her self-taught fighting style, she defended her village and sent the drow running. Now, as a member of the Skylanders, Splat makes quite the impression wherever she goes. So, had the background story stuck with that initial thing where she was just this happy little schoolgirl that liked to dance and do artwork, I would hate her. I don't care how she upgraded. That's like the worst possible scenario for me personally. I think it would appeal to a lot of players, particularly, you know, younger girls. That is not me. And the fact that she rebelled against the system, got outside, taught herself how to fight, and had a good life that she wanted to leave and not the life that everyone said she should leave, makes her cool, and that is all right by me. So let's just, I'm going to quickly scan this here. Artisan Arts, press attack 1 to pummel enemies with your brush staff. So technical name, I guess, would be brush staff. That works. Secondary attack, heave hue. Hue spelled H-U-E like a color. Press attack 2 to fling explosive ink blob at enemies. That's all I'm going to let myself read, but we kind of have a feel for it now, so we will have to see. Typically, characters wielding staffs, I have liked. Double Trouble comes to mind. He is amazing. I'd kind of like to see him back at some point in time. I don't know, maybe like in elite form or something. I would wreck people with him. And I'm serious, there are people, you know, a lot of people have forgotten or don't remember Double Trouble. He's almost like a castaway because no one really ever talks about him anymore, but he is fantastic. Think, what was it, Conjurer and Channeler? I preferred Channeler, I believe. But anyway, he's kind of like Sonic Boom and SSA. I took their like primary path, and then in Giants, they both had sort of like their, with Double Trouble, it was like the miniature double tiki guys, and with Sonic Boom, she had the baby griffins. Media Griffin, and most people preferred Media Griffin with the babies. Most people also tend to prefer Conjurer with the exploding doubles. I preferred Siren Griffin for Sonic Boom and Channeler for Double Trouble. Actually, I was talking to Paul PDDT in the comments section. He brought up how for Air Element Elites, which we don't have right now, which is a shame, that he would like to see Sonic Boom. And why I remember these path names 5 years later, I can't tell you, but I do. And we'll see. But also another character with a staff that I wasn't super fond of, which I believe Paul actually was a big fan of, Firecracken. So people give me a lot of hate for that, but there were a lot of Swap Force characters I really liked, and I don't know, for whatever reason that just didn't appeal to me as much. So nonetheless, I'm kind of excited now to see how she plans out. The background story saved it. The figure is amazing. Now that I've got it out of the packaging, again, I realized that when I looked at it thoroughly in the packaging, it was actually very nicely done. I do not like the artwork though. I hope that the color scheme in-game matches this. If it's the darker purple skin tone, it won't look near as good in my opinion. So something in the comment section I want to know from you. Do you agree with me? Do you prefer the aesthetics that we see here in the figure form of Splat? Or do you kind of like the artwork form? And again, in my opinion, this is like a way, I mean, side by side there as best I can for you. This is a lighter skin tone, that's a darker skin tone. It's sort of like pale pink versus a pale berry purple. This just looks way better in my opinion. So I could be in the minority there. I often am in things of this nature, but it's a significant difference. It's kind of like the legendaries. They look pretty good in hand, and then you go throw them in the game and they're like too dark. A couple of them will, you know, actually be darker in hand, almost look black as opposed to a navy blue. So I'm very particular about this stuff, but nonetheless, this is Splat. I'm excited to get her introduced. She should be number 26. I'll do Big Bubble Pop Fizz last. It'll be Nightfall and Splat in some order after that. The elites are going to be 22, 3, and 4. Had to release Lava Lance Eruptor. I did that when I could barely talk, and he is pretty fantastic. So I'll end this. We're going to open up her feature vehicle here, which will be the Splatter Splasher coming up next. So stay tuned for that, and I will catch you back here for more Skylanders SuperChargers unboxings.